It's National Assisted Living Week, and to celebrate this week, we checked in with local experts to answer some frequently asked questions about assisted living. In this episode of Home Helper's Water Cooler Chat, I had the opportunity to chat with Heather Cartright-Tetrault, the owner and a senior care advisor with My Care Finders. Are you ready to learn more about assisted living? Let's go. So welcome. Thank you so much, Heather, for joining us today for Home Helper's Water Cooler Chat. How are you doing today?
I'm great. It's a beautiful day. How about yourself, Jonathan?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. So the question I have for you today is, there are so many senior communities. How does one narrow down their options and make their selection?
Sure. So it is definitely something to really consider and you need to think about because this is for you or your loved one's future. And so whenever you're going through the process, sometimes it can seem like it's very overwhelming and daunting, and you don't want to make the wrong choice either, especially when you're very overwhelmed as it is. And just to give you a little bit of background, in this area, I would say between Sarasota County and the surrounding areas, such as even Charlotte County and Manatee County, there's roughly around 200 communities. So when you really look at that, you need to really start thinking about what is important to you or your loved one. And don't first think that you're going to wing it and go to a community and then decide, because you don't want to be swayed either. So you need to really figure out, what are your needs? What are your wants and desires? And of course, we know care is going to be the top of the level, but there's also things that you need to think about, such as socially, geographically, financially, about being able to afford something now and also in the future. But along with all of those different key things you need to really think about, that's how you can start the process to really figure out to narrow down your options. And again, the top of the one is care. In the state of Florida, there's different licensure levels for assisted living itself. There's 4 different licensures. So with that said, it's very, very important to find out what your care needs are now. And granted, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what it's going to look like in the future, but you may have an idea of potentially some history, family history, what that could look like. Meaning, do you think you're going to have to worry about maybe Parkinson's in the future or Alzheimer's or dementia? Because if that's the case, maybe you're going to look, just as an example, look at assisted living with attached memory care. So to me, that's where it's super important to start thinking about now and what your wishes would be. Larger, homey, cozy, the one with the bells and whistles. There's so many things that can go into it. And having an advocate or having someone to help through the process may even be a better choice as well.
Okay. Thank you so much for that information, Heather. So tell me a little bit, and I think this is a good segue into what you do. Tell me a little bit more about My Care Finders.
Sure. So My Care Finders, we are a free advocate for families in this area looking for senior living communities, whether it's independent living, assisted living, memory care, even private duty in-home care we can assist with. And so part of that, though, as you're mentioning also, Jonathan, is that also comes to dealing with these communities. And we know them thoroughly and intimately in the ins and outs of all these communities. So for us, when working with us, we can really help narrow down those options to just a select few, just based on what your needs are, your preferences. And that's super, super important, because you also have an advocate there with you through the entire process from start to finish. And I'll also add to that is, if it's your choice, of course, but if the families prefer it, we can also tour with the community or the families at these communities. So that way they have the advocate there with them, knowing that they have someone looking out for their best interests. It's unbiased advice.
Wow, I really like the idea that a family can have an advocate tour communities with them. That seems to be a benefit that you don't get with some of the national companies, and a reason why you may go with a more local company like My Care Finders. That is great. Heather, can you tell me more about, or tell me how someone would contact you if they need your services?
Sure. So definitely the biggest thing is either by phone or email, because we actually on our webpage, we have a contact us info box, and you can also do a live chat. I'm always on the chat. So if that's the easiest thing, just ask some questions. We can do that for you. But the phone number is 941-666-0266. Again, 941-666-0266. And then our web address is mycarefinders.com. And again, just so you can remember, mycarefinders.com. But please call us. We have 100% satisfaction with every family in the last 4 years. And so we really thoroughly know what we're doing with having a passion. And we absolutely just love it. We love helping others. And that's our number one goal.
Very good. Well, I want to thank you, Heather, for coming to us and sharing that great information and telling us more about your company as well. Thank you again for coming. And to all of our viewers, I want to thank you for watching this episode of Home Helpers Water Cooler Chat. And until next time, we'll see you soon. Take care.
Thanks for having me, Jonathan.
No problem.